take a look at how they'll come to the dance. And we talk about Spencer Hawes. He's arguably their most effective player, but he will not start either. But we expect to see him early in the going. John Brockman, about whom Danny spoke, Quincy Pondexter, who has not started every game either. He is now back in the starting lineup with Artem Wallace, Justin Detman, and Ryan Appleby in the backcourt. The backcourt has been playing a little bit better of late for the Huskies, who've won 3 of their last 4. Lorenzo Romar now 98 up and 50 down in his 5 years as the head coach, and he has completely turned this program and brought basketball back to this campus. Danny, let's talk about the keys to the game.
All right, Barry, the keys to the game. You look at California. They need to out-rebound the Huskies. Now, it's only happened twice all year, but California did it when they beat them at Berkeley, and they have to find a way to get to the free throw line. #1 free throw shooting team in the country. For the Huskies, dominate the paint, and let's get some backcourt consistency. And I think this is a pivotal game for both teams. You see Ryan Anderson, he's been unbelievable, Barry, all year. Their leader as a freshman in terms of rebounding and scoring. Talk about 2 teams that need a win. I mean, you've got them here tonight.
Yeah, as we said, neither team can afford too many more L's if they want to really have serious hopes of a postseason berth. And of course, we've always said you got to hold serve at home in the Pac-10, and that'll be the job tonight for the Washington Huskies. There's Spencer Hawes. We do expect to see him sooner rather than later. He too has had the flu, but he's better now. He's practiced for the first time in a couple of weeks. He's been able to come to every practice and be a participant. And he also has a little bit of an ankle problem.
But the good news is that Spencer has gained back much of those 15 pounds that he lost, so he's feeling a lot better, and I think we'll be back in the starting lineup soon.
And Justin Detman, a little runner with the right hand coming across the paint. Detman has stepped up. He hit a real dry spell about a third of the way into this season. This is Theo Robertson, now Christopher. Christopher, pull-up jumper, comes up short. Down in the hands of Pondexter. And here come the Huskies. They'll try to run, and they leave it for Brockman to the basket.
Well, the Huskies, you could say, have gotten off strong. Boy, that was a beautiful move that time by Pondexter to find Brockman streaking down the middle. Like California, you know, they can ill afford to come out and go 20-4 behind like they did against Stanford. So they've got to keep a little contact, get some confidence, run their motion. Good move by Robertson. He's talking about a guy stepping up for California. He's really had a terrific year for him.
No question about it. We were talking to Ben Brown about that today. He said, do you believe he's only a sophomore? I mean, it's easy to lose sight of that. Pondexter open for 3. It goes in and out. Robertson with the rebound for the Bears. They get it ahead to Christopher. One-on-one with Appleby. A little spin move over Appleby short. And Brockman the rebound. Got to make those. Tried to leave that for Wallace. Wallace was cutting the basket. It'll be a turnover. So Randall, the freshman, starting at the point for Ubaka today for California. Now he's coming off his...
You know, he's a terrific outside player. He's a guy that can dribble drive like that and find the open guy.
Robertson will finish it. Thank you very much. For 3. Bears take the lead. So 5-4 ball game. California leading early on. Robertson with all 5 California points. Here's Pondexter for the Huskies. Floater won't go. Very good defensive job that time. And by the Bears, 2-on-1 now. Randall on the wing to Omar Wilkes.
Yeah, a little bit too easy that time. If you're Lorenzo Romar, you're saying, hey, guys, you know, we got to get focused. They scored the first 4. They made a few mistakes. Now they step over the inline, taking the ball out of bounds. It's a 7-0 run for California. And right away, Lorenzo Romar is going to make a few changes. Now he's going to get Hawes in the game. And California, you were worried if you were a Cal fan that, hey, look, we're down 4-0. We were down 20-4 against Stanford, made a comeback, but the Bears have done a nice job in the open court.
No question about it. 7 unanswered points. Here's Randall again. Randall thought about it, gave it up. Now they drop down to Anderson. Anderson draws the foul. He'll go to the line. They get Hawes on the foul. What an interesting matchup, Hawes and Anderson. And admittedly, Hawes really is much more of a true 5, and Anderson really playing out of position because of the injury to Harden. But nonetheless, you got to like the matchup.
Well, you really do, and you're getting a little glimpse of Ryan Anderson, and we talked about him at the top of the show, Barry. He's a young man that came into California a little bit under the radar in terms of recruiting. He's from the Sacramento area, and as he performed, he was a 6'5". He was 6'5" as a sophomore, grew 4 or 5 inches, did not play a lot of AAU basketball in his senior year. So he said, admittedly, a lot of coaches didn't get a chance to look at me. Tim Floyd did. He went to Tim Floyd's camp. Floyd said, we missed the boat here. And right away, they offered him a scholarship. California got on him early and did a great job recruiting him. He's been superb with Cal all year.
The Bears knew what they had all along. This is not a surprise to California and the coaching staff. Going to get a reaching foul here on Randall. I remember Lou Renaud, one of the Cal assistant coaches, talking to us last year about Ryan Anderson. He said, all the guy does is score. He said, I don't care who he's playing against, he scores.
Yeah, Louis told Ben Bryant, he said, by the way, Coach, I think he just got 53.
Yeah.
And then he called him again. He said, I think he got 48. Okay, that's it. That's good enough for me.
And he hasn't missed a beat in his freshman season in the Pac-10 Conference either. Here's Denman in traffic.
That's nice to see Denman stepping up. I thought he'd hit a wall earlier this year. Well, that's quick.
Sure is. Randall misses off the left side. Brockman gets it out of there. To Denman. Another foul on Randall. Now that's really going to hurt the Bears. And I would expect that's going to bring Ibaka probably sooner than Ben Braun wanted to bring him.
Yeah, we talked about Justin Denman, and I thought Denman kind of hit a wall midway through the year, and you see right there ability to put it on the ground, break it down defensively. Remember in the game at Berkeley, Cal won that game in overtime and out-rebounded Washington, which is a feat in itself. Only Cal and Arizona have out-rebounded Washington the whole year. I thought Denman came off the bench and played very well in that game.
So Randall now goes to the bench, and Indi Ibaka will come on. Now there is a question as to how far and how hard he can go. He's been very troubled with stomach ailment, and it just is staying with him. And it's really too bad. He's just a wonderful guy and a high-character guy on this California team. Clearly the team leader. This is his senior season, and things have just not gone the way Indi and all the supporters would have wanted. But I'll tell you what, this guy's got a big upside.
Yeah, he really has a big heart, and he's not 100%. Really, that answers a lot of questions about his play midway through the year, Barry, because he was not up to par, and he's just not very strong because of the virus. And hopefully he can come on here if you're a Cal fan and give him a lift.
Denman got away with the travel, but he turns it over anyway. Omar Wilkes steps in front of that pass. Here's Anderson. He can shoot this.
Yes, he can. He didn't get that one down, but it was right there.
Brockman gets it out of it. Here's right now they're playing Washington's game. This is Oliver in the ball game for the first time with freshman. Now Brockman working on the smaller Robertson. He can't get it to go. Anderson picks it up for the Bears.
Well, if you're a Husky fan, you certainly like that matchup, especially with Robertson playing right behind him at the low block. And, Brockman's going to make that shot more times than he'll miss it. I'm sure that Lorenzo Romar will go back to it.
And I think Ibaka's asking to come out of the game here. I may be wrong, but I thought I saw him pulling his jersey, which usually is an indication of get me out of here.
Well, he's not running with a lot of energy. If you watch him, he's with that virus, he probably can't go too many times up and down the floor.
There's Appleby, good shooter.
And if there was one player that California really talked about at practice, it was Appleby. When he comes off a screen, you got to jump to him and not give him any daylight.
And he's also a streak shooter, but he gets it going. I mean, he really can be lights out. Well, he scores his first one. We'll see where he goes from here. Not an easy shot, actually. We'll cross over, knock down the three. We'll be back. Welcome back to Seattle. 14:51 remaining first half, and the Huskies leading the Bears by 3. It's an 11-8 ball game.
Barry, here's the isolation. They bring Brockman up and watch him try to take advantage of a mismatch. They give Brockman the ball, and they just let him work. They're going to let him work right there against a smaller defender and see if he can't put that ball home, and he does a nice job to get the glass and get it down.
All right, let's take a look then at the Subway Pac-10 standings after we show you the score from Oregon and Arizona State.
Whoa.
Boy, given Oregon all they want, but, you know, good teams find a way to win.
Yes, they do. But Arizona State improving. I mean, that's a second close game in a row. And you look at the Subway Pac-10 standings, and you see California, Washington, two teams we talked about that need to get it going. Got to find a way to get some wins. And how about Washington State, UCLA, Oregon does get the win tonight. Bruins got a big win against USC.
And, of course, Washington State and Stanford playing as we speak, and we will give you updates on that game as we go along. Big game in the Pac-10. Of course, the way this conference is and as balanced as it is, you can make that statement about almost every game. Here's Vernisol with the right hand. Tough shot.
Well, we talked about Arizona State, a team that's improving. Don't forget, they had the last shot at home to beat Washington State. They lost by 1. So you know that Herb Sendek's got that team, even though they haven't won, they're dangerous if you're playing it because they're improving as the year goes on.
Incidentally, another note about that game, we keep talking about freshmen in this conference. Good effort right there by Hawes. In that game, DeJuan Porter, a little bitty freshman, smallest player in the Pac-10 conference, had 24 points. He was 6 of 8 from three-point range, and his team wins by 4.
Well, DeJuan Porter's an unbelievable talent. He can really get it going from deep. You got a big matchup when you have DeJuan Porter of Oregon against Jerome Randall of California. Two super speed guys.
Watch Spencer Hawes here.
Yeah, and of course Spencer, you know, we talked about the fact he turned the ankle, had a virus, but you see the talent. I mean, at 6'11", 7 feet, he's got an array of shots with the jump hook, so it's nice to see Spencer come in the game and get a quick goal.
Well, we have seen him be absolutely spectacular. Early in the year against LSU, he just has not been 100%, probably for the last month.
Well, we saw that graphic points in the paint, Barry. I think that's going to be a telling story as the game unfolds, whether Washington can continue to do damage against California inside.
I call this foul on Brockman. Brockman will come out of the ball game. Artem Wallace will come back in. There's Omar Wilkes, brings Detman out with him. Now Baca. Baca apparently okay. Vernisol drop it down for Anderson. Anderson draws the crowd and still wedges it in.
Well, was that well executed by California. Vernisol with a great read, and we talked about Anderson's hands. He never drops it when he gets it inside.
Spencer Hawes turnaround off the baseline. Detman gets it back, gets it in the hands of Hawes again for the flush. Drives baseline, kicks it out for Vernisol. Good look and a good three-point shooter. And we're tied at 15. Halftime, Washington State, a deuce over Stanford, but the game is being played at Washington State's tempo. It's not to say Stanford is uncomfortable at that tempo. They can play that way.
Well, they sure can, but Washington State, they've been in a few close games. The difference this year is they're winning those close games.
Artem Wallace with the finish for Washington. His team leads by 2. Baca the floater. Trading baskets here.
Yeah, they are trading baskets, and I'll tell you, the game for two teams that really desperately need to win just to be thinking about the postseason. I mean, I think they're coming out playing at a high level, shooting the ball very well, playing with a lot of intensity.
Pass to Wallace. Wallace tried a spin move. Good job by Robertson to adjust. Now Hawes has to back it out. Omar Wilkes, great play to get a hand on the ball. Chases it down, race to the basket, forces it up. Can't get it. All but the finish.
Gotta love the effort, though. Nice play by Wilkes, just couldn't finalize.
Detman worked on by the bigger Ubaka. Indy gets a hand on that ball. Shot clock, no problem. Still 15. Nelson brings Vernisol out with him, drives baseline. Great job by Robertson to cut him off. Took a good flop, but he got it in the hands of Oliver and finished. Ibaka Open three.
Okay, so much for having the virus.
Yeah, that'll make you forget about it in a hurry.
Yeah, so much for that. I thought Ibaka was wanting to come out of the game earlier, but I think he's regained a little strength here.
Really, found some life. He's shooting here.
Yeah, very good shooting, and California playing at a much quicker tempo than I even expected.
How about Oliver coming off the baseline? And we've played not even half of the first half, and we're at the same score they are over in Pullman. Well, Ibaka has really lit a fire under the Bears.
Well, he really has, and Andy Ibaka had been struggling with his shot. He had not been 100% physically, and I think he's just he's trying to get it all together tonight. Did not start, but he made a runner in a lane. Then he comes down and hits a three, and I guess Ben Braun's wondering how long can I keep him in there before, I give him a little bit of a breather, but he's playing well right now.
And he's got Randall on the bench, of course, with the 2 fouls. Well, tonight's broadcast is on AFN. That's the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces, serving in 176 countries and aboard ships at sea. They're watching all around the world, in Iraq, in Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, and Japan. And we welcome all of you. And a pretty good ball game you're watching also. Andy Ibaka playing hurt and playing well. But as we said, this guy is a high-character guy.
And you see the spread. California going to spread it out. And Anderson just has not been able to get one down. And still California's in pretty good shape score-wise.
This time Christopher could get a timeout called. Has to give it up to Oliver. And now Oliver will palm it. Got to have one of those obligatory calls. Point of emphasis every game. And there it is for this game. 10:01 left and a 1-point Husky lead.
With the help of 7-foot German native Christian Velp, Washington won back-to-back Pac-10 co-championships in 1984 and 1985 and made 3 consecutive NCAA tournament appearances for the first time in school history. Velp started all 4 seasons from 1984 through 1987 with career averages of 16.1 points and 7.7 rebounds.
And Christian Velp will join a very select group in the Pac-10 Conference Hall of Honor. He will be so honored down at the Staples Center during tournament week, March 7th to the 10th, and you can still get tickets for both the men's and women's tournament, but all you have to do is get online to www.pac10.org or call Ticketmaster 213-480-3232. The Pacific Life Pac-10 Men's Basketball Tournament. Barry Tompkins, Dan Belwamini. We're at the Bank of America Arena here in Seattle, where the hometown Huskies lead the Cal Bears 21-20. Huskies want to play it up and down, and right now the game is at their tempo, but Cal staying with them.
Yeah, California opportunity jumpers have gone down. I thought Ibaka's come in to give them a real lift, and now coming out of the timeout, certainly you'd like to get Ryan Anderson involved if you're California.
Taylor Harrison in the ball game now for the Bears. Not a real threat to score by Brockman. Is just mugging Anderson here. Vernison, off-balance shot. It won't go. Ibaka will give the Bears a second chance.
Well, look at Brockman deny just Anderson the ball, or force it. No, he's forcing him further away from the goal.
Well, he's doing a great job on him. Much as he did on
Davis.
Baby Davis.
Yes,
yeah.
he did. Yeah, he did really a marvelous job on Davis when Washington beat LSU here early in the year.
Well, Brockman, you talked about it at the beginning. I mean, he defines the term blue-collar player. Poindexter misses everything. Here's Vernison. Bears got 3-on-2 if they push it. They won't. And a good job that time by Detman. Now Christopher gets it back, trying to get it to Anderson. It's going to be out of bounds to Washington.
I think when Vernison was coming down the floor, he was looking to give the ball up to a guard, somebody to handle it, and couldn't find anybody, and got himself in a little bit of trouble. But California, they've been able to run the floor and have numbers as you look at the turnovers story. And the Huskies, well, they need a few turnovers early in this game, and it's really good. They're shooting the ball great from the field, but they've made a number of turnovers. Can't roll over. You can go down on the ground. If you've got the ball and you roll over in any way, shape, or form, it's going to be a travel.
So the Bears will get it back. Still a one-point ball game, 21-20. There's Vernisel. Vernisel himself just coming back from a sprained ankle. Now Ibaka for three. It's off the front rim that time, and it's going to be out of bounds to Washington.
It's been a challenging year, to say the least, for Brent Brock.
One of your keys to the game, of course, was that the Bears really needed to outboard Washington. Not happening so far.
It's not. It's 12-7 Huskies, and Brockman's got 6 of those rebounds. So, you know, a great job by Washington. Their team does not get out-rebounded very often. It's only happened twice this year. As we said, Arizona out-rebounded them when they absolutely destroyed the Huskies in Tucson, and California did it when they beat Washington in overtime earlier in the year.
How about Harrison going to the basket with a little hook shot?
Talk about a little confidence lift for a guy. It's only his 3rd field goal of the year. So, you know, that's going to give him a real boost.
Brockman that time on the baseline. Didn't see him. Now Denver. Artem Wallace, he had the last basket. He's got a couple of buckets here. Double clutches and puts himself at the line. So we'll jump away with 7:20 remaining to be played. Watch Taylor Harrison. Little hook that time and made it good. We're coming back. Of course, Brooke and Robin Lopez have really made the big difference in the Stanford Cardinal. Brooke, incidentally, was 6 points in the first half tonight.
Well, Brooke is, you know, we know he had the back surgery, and now he's gaining his strength, and he's a tremendous shot blocker. And he and his brother Robin, you talk about upside. I mean, it's scary to think where they're going to be in a year from now, because those two can really, they can get in there and dominate a game.
No question. Very balanced scoring in this game so far for California. 3 players with 5 points each, and for the Washington Huskies, 4 players with 4 points, and Artem Wallace, the leading scorer, with 5.
I think this is what Anderson may have to do against Brockman, is take him away from the goal and maybe try to free him up with a screen or two. That's just a terrific pass and a great read. They didn't get it down.
Vernisel, a pretty good shooter from there, and couldn't do any business with that one. Now Ryan Apple. Huskies now will use a little clock here. It's 6 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in the first half. Huskies lead it by 2. Dexter steps in, now leaves for Appleby for 3. He's got another one.
You said he's really a streaky guy. And once Appleby gets going, you just cannot afford to leave him. No matter what, you cannot help. You just have to stay tight on him no matter where the ball is.
Now Ibaka for California. Patrick Christopher, he steps in, try to get around Pondexter, couldn't do it. Harrison out away from the basket. Vernisel again, and again he misses. And Brockman, in amongst 3 California Bears, gets the rebound and draws the foul.
Now Brockman has done a great job on the glass, and here Pondexter draws the defense, and you just cannot leave Ryan Appleby, especially after he starts making a few, because he's a guy that he can make 5, 6 in a row.
Yes, yeah, we've seen that happen. Second foul on Taylor Harrison. And he will have to stay out there because Ryan Anderson will get a blow now. Vernisel also leaves for the Bears. Theo Robertson comes back.
A little surprised they haven't gone right to Brock. Here he is, right underneath the goal, if you can find him.
There he is.
So you want to let him work. Well, he's a pretty good passer, too.
Yeah, he is. All but the finish. We've seen that quite a lot. It's going to be California ball.
Brockman is so unselfish. I think he had a chance there to just go ahead and turn and score it. But the guy is such a team player. He saw the open player, and he said, well, okay, I'm going to try to make that little interior pass. But I thought he had a chance to take it right up and in.
Huskies lead the Bears by 5. Backdoor cut by Wilkes. Good finish. The Bears all of a sudden can't find it. And Brockman with yet another rebound. There's Appleby. Appleby's on fire.
You might say he's got a rhythm going tonight. and you know what you love about that move? You know he's drilled a couple of trays. He gets it and does the little pump fake and gets Wilkes up in the air and then puts it on the ground to finish it up. So he's really coming on strong and having an outstanding first half.
And the Bears just won of their last 8, conversely. Robertson in traffic wedges it in.
He's got to be the best 6'5" man in the country.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I mean, he scores inside, he scores outside.
There's another turnover, Christopher.
But they got numbers if they can get it up the floor.
Ibaka leaves it for Wilkes. Wilkes with a bigger Brockman on him. Now they try to get to Harrison. Robertson again, finger rolls it in.
Well, and I thought California read the fact that there was a mismatch there. That you had a guy like Robertson being guarded by a smaller player. They went right to it. To Robertson's credit, he put it right on the floor, went to the goal, and scored it.
He's really becoming a complete player. Here's another foul. Let's see if they get Harrison or Christopher. If it's Harrison, it's going to be his 3rd. And they are going to get Harrison. It will be his 3rd.
Yeah, here's the last. How about that little pump? Get the man in the air, and that's what you do when people are flying to you. You just go ahead and try to draw them up in the air, and then you can put it on the floor. And Appleby, you don't have to give him much room to finish it up.
I'm not quite sure what that was, but Brockman, maybe they moved the basket. I don't know.
And you know, Brockman's even smiling about that one. You're going, okay, let's analyze that shot. Let me go back and kind of regroup it. Now he'll probably come back in and get nothing but strings.
Yeah,
now,
of course. Well, he's a guy, he's really become not only a fan favorite, he's a coach's favorite too. Lorenzo Romo last year talking about Brockman and how valuable he was, how he practices, how he makes everybody better.
You know what it is? People want to play with him. Yeah. I mean, if you're a guy out there, that's the kind of guy you want to play. He's going to work hard. He's going to rebound it. He's unselfish. He's going to give you 110%. He's a warrior inside.
Theo Robertson misses that one, and there's Brockman again. Brockman's got 9 rebounds in the game, incidentally.
I'd say he's a fair rebounder.
Yeah. Here's Hawes. Hawes working on Anderson now. Faces him up. Just getting kind of an idea of what Spencer Hawes is all about. He's not yet 100%.
Yeah, we talked about Brockman. He's got 9 rebounds. California, as a team, only has 10.
Lamar Wilkes misses an open 3. Rebound to Hawes into the hands of Appleby. Appleby ahead to Brockman. Brockman on the smaller Robertson travel. And with that, we'll take a timeout with 3 minutes and 12 seconds remaining to be played. It remains a 5-point ball game. Watch the turnaround by Hawes just facing Anderson up. We'll be back. Pac-10 rebounding leaders, and Marty Lunan is the conference leader, but John Brockman, he's got 9 so far, so he's closing in.
Yeah, he sure is closing in on them. We know Jeff Pendergraft's an outstanding all-around player at Arizona State and Gibson. And of course, Ryan Anderson. We got 2 of the leading top 5 rebounding leaders right in this particular game. The way Brockman's going, though, he's got, what, 9 already? Yeah. You know, he may be going for one of those 20 rebound games.
And you can see that we spoke of this a moment ago, but the Bears as a team with 10 boards and Brockman as a player with 9. California, though, taking care of the basketball. They've only turned the ball over twice, and they do have 6 assists. Robertson, leading scorer with 9 points, and that's the reason the Bears trailed by only 5.
Well, you're right. The reason they're in it, only 2 turnovers here in the first half by California. But the key for the Bears is the ability to get to the foul line. They're a great free throw shooting team. Was that beautiful? Were they going to get a foul first? But was that well executed?
It really was. Anderson will not get credit for the basket. They'll call a foul on Hawes. It's going to be his 2nd.
All right, here's the over the top. Watch the pin. Look at him.
Beautifully, Deming going to get the foul first, but that's exactly high to low the way you want to do it. Well, he made it 3 anyway. Yeah, it was what are you going to do? Ben Ross say, okay.
I'll live with it.
Honestly, I thought the basket should have counted.
I thought so too.
Burmeister in the ball game now for Lorenzo Romar's Huskies. Alex Pribble in the game for California guarding him. Now Spencer Hawes. There's Ryan Appleby, and Ibaka's going to get right in his pocket this time.
Not only, Barry, do you get in his pocket, you don't leave him. You got to stay with him all the way. How about that one?
Got it to Burmeister. Burmeister simply buried him. That's a big basket.
Right, you got to give Appleby a pat in the back. I mean, he's an unselfish guy. He ran that baseline and had the great vision to find the open guy.
There's Pribble looking for Anderson. Anderson got into traffic again to put it high off the window and in.
I'm telling you, Barry, he never loses the ball when he catches it. And you know the other thing, it's my favorite, he never brings it down. He always keeps it up. But the guy is just a terrific all-around talent.
I mean, look at the two great all-around talents right here playing head up with one another. There's Brockman is hammered by Alex Pribble. And it was Pribble who went flying.
Would you say that Pribble thought in his mind that he was not going to let Brockman shoot that ball?
Might have, yeah.
Here's the over the top. I mean, again, this is well executed. That was a hard foul.
That was a very hard foul. But you saw who was on his back and who remained standing.
7-2.
Brockman looked pretty good on that one.
Well, he has a nice rotation. And the other thing, you know, he's working on his outside game. I mean, he wants to step away and play from 15, 17 feet. It's not like his rotation's poor. He just kind of lost focus when he missed a couple of free throws earlier.
Justin Detman will come back into the ball game for the Huskies. So will Artem Wallace. 1 out of 2 for Brockman. Hawes will sit.
Yeah, Hawes still, Barry, cannot go any length of time. The virus has affected him. He's lost weight. He's gained some of it back, but you can tell he's still not 100%.
Robertson in traffic. Robertson can't get it to go. And Denman controls it. There's Appleby. Appleby thought about it. Didn't get his feet quite set. Passed the shot up. Pribble steps in front. It's another turnover.
And you've got numbers if you're the Bears.
And Robertson just a blow by right around Burmeister. Wilkes on him because on the floor drives, pulls up to the free throw line and knocks it in. Not an easy shot.
No, that was well defended, and you know he's in rhythm when he starts making that one. Big half for Appleby.
I'll say. 35 seconds, a difference of about 5 seconds between game clock and shot clock here. And the Bears likely will run this down. Appleby with 10. And Robertson with 11 for California. There's Ibaka.
Well, they love to run the high screen and roll it right at the end of the clock. And trying to find Anderson inside, but Brockman doing a good job on it.
And Alex Pribble makes a pay right as the shot clock wound down.
How about that one? How about if you're California, Pribble with a long three. He's gotten a steal. He's made a three. And then a quick TO. Now, don't forget, California's only got 3 team fouls. So
I think Don McAllister may be looking to make sure he got that off before the shot clock expired.
Well, I think he definitely got it off, but was it a 3, was it a 2? It was difficult to tell on that sequence, but, you know, good officiating. Let's take a look at it, which they can do, and replay it.
Yeah, it might be a 2.
Still a tough angle. That's close.
It's a 3. It is a 3. And it makes it a 1-point ball game. Alex Pribble, former walk-on. Ben Brown calls him the toughest player on his team. Coming up at halftime, we'll get around the Pac-10 Conference tonight. There are some entertaining games going on. Oregon, a close winner over Arizona State. Stanford and Washington State having at one another in the second half now. 7.2 seconds remaining. Plenty of time here for Washington to get a shot off.
Yeah, a big momentum situation for the Huskies, and that's why Lorenzo Romar's going to take a 30, and he's going to talk to his guys. He wants a little something going into that locker room, so you have plenty of time. With 7-2 to go, you can get the ball down and get a quality shot.
You know, here's an interesting thing, too, Dan. Right now, Washington is shooting the ball 67%, and they only lead by a point. And that's the turnover story once again. Well, Pac-10 Women's Hoops coming away on Saturday. USC and UCLA and Washington against number 11 Stanford licking its wounds after a home loss to the California Golden Bears. So UCLA and USC, and they have sold out the Gable Center. First time USC women have ever sold out the building. At Stanford, of course, they always do really well too. The Galen Center, of course, I meant to say, at USC, brand new building and a sellout crowd. Nice to see that for women's hoops.
Got plenty of time if you can get it all the way down, not turn it over, which they
Maybe
did.
the other way.
Unbelievable.
Got to get the shot up here, and Wilkes can't get it to go.
Would that have been a turn of events? California, proactive. They defended. They just didn't let them bring the ball in and get a shot. Ben Braun had his team, up there defending and doing a pretty good job. Very good first half of basketball by both teams.
No question about it. Where the Huskies lead it by a point, it's a 37-36 ball game at the end of the first half, and a very well played half, as you mentioned. Second half should be interesting between two teams with postseason hopes. Same starting lineups for both teams, as Ibaka will start the game on the bench for California. Randall picked up 2 quick fouls in the first half. We'll get to start again in the second half, and Artem Wallace will start instead of Spencer Hawes for the Huskies. Good job that time to recover by Pondexter. Might have gotten a hand on that ball in the attempt by Anderson. There's Justin Denton.
When they've got Brockman open, and Brockman was kind of running around underneath the goal. He was there all alone. Now they find it.
And he easily puts it home with the left hand. It's a very tough matchup for Robertson.
It really is, and you give the Huskies credit. That was well executed because Brockman's the focal point. That's what they want to try to find him, because Cal, it's a tough cover. They don't have any big, strong guy in there to defend Brockman.
Bears trying to go over the top, and Brockman steps in front of Ryan Anderson. Brockman just does all those little things.
Watch Brockman. They're going to come off, and look at that pass right into Brockman. And look at how open he is. But how about the pass? And guess what? It right hand. Beautifully done. Pondexter did a great job to get him the ball.
Bears conversely looking for Anderson, and Appleby steps in front of the pass to Omar Wilkes. Here comes Ryan Appleby. Pondexter drives baseline, now leaves for Brockman. Brockman blocked by Anderson.
I think they may get a charge after the block.
I think that's right.
And Theo Robertson's a master at holding position. Watch Robertson under the goal. And what does he do? He just stands there. He makes a heck of a defensive play and picks. I thought that was a good call. Brockman ran him over.
No, it was. Second foul on Brockman. And a pretty good block by Ryan Anderson. There's Patrick Christopher. Christopher is looking to score a little bit more than he did earlier in the year. Just a freshman. Randall cut off by Denton. Now Randall for 3. Got to force that shot a little bit, I thought. Brockman with his 10th rebound. Here's Pondexter. They're still looking for his first point in the game. Pondexter, another freshman.
No, that's one of the real stories with Washington. People say, well, they haven't won on the road. Well, guess what? They've got a lot of young guys. And don't forget, they lost a pretty good player last year. Who was the Pac-10 Player of the Year, Brandon Roy.
I'll say.
Jamal Williams. I mean, they lost Bobby Jones. They lost a ton of guys that were terrific all-around players. Jensen's another guy.
Brockman just steps up, knocks that down. That's a shot. Interesting enough, he must have shot 100 of those during the shoot-around this afternoon. Step in front, almost got that. Now Randall going to bring it back up top.
You get the feeling Washington's defense is picked up. See, it seems like they're more energetic. They're challenging. Nice pass there. Well, that was
sure was. And Ryan Anderson, man, he's not going to miss that shot very often at all. And Brockman, yet another rebound. Brockman with 12 boards. The Bears with 11 as a team. Pondexter in traffic, had it blocked by Christopher. Seems a pretty good defense here. And that's going to be Pondexter with a trip. Well, across the state, look at Washington State. I mean,
they're unbelievable.
They are unbelievable. That was a 2-point game at the half, and now look at 11-point lead.
Well, to my recollection, Stanford had 20 or 21 at half. I mean, you telling me they got 12 points in the second half?
That's what I'm telling you.
That's what you're telling. I thought that's what you were saying.
They put great defense. I mean, I'm telling you, you've seen it.
Well, I saw them against this team right here, the Huskies, and that was in Pullman, and they absolutely tore Washington apart with their defense and did a great job executing their offense. And as everybody says, it's not a fluke. I mean, forget that. Those days are gone. You're a legitimate Pac-10 contender this year.
Randall with a charge. How about Brockman? And what do you suppose going through Randall's mind when he sees Brockman standing there with position?
Well, he's probably thinking maybe I got a broad jump over him.
Yeah, really.
Maybe I could just go directly over the top because I don't want to run into Brockman. Can I just catapult right over him? And he couldn't do it. You know, one further comment on Washington State, Greg. When you talk about, I'm talking about National Coach of the Year. I'm telling Tony Bennett's got to get some mention here.
You bet he does.
I mean, they were picked, to my recollection, at the bottom of the Pac-10.
They were.
I mean, how many teams have been picked at the bottom that are just flying high and just out of first place in their league? There are not many.
Ibaka with the rebound, now to Omar Wilkes. Bears need an answer here, and they throw it away.
Now, the Bears, to my recollection, they haven't scored in the second half. I thought it was 37-36 at halftime, and Ben Braun's thinking the same thing. So he's hoping we need to get untracked offensively.
Spencer Hawes back in, got right around Anderson with a reverse nifty move.
Well, he gives you, when he gets little flashes of brilliance, you know. I mean, how different would it be for the Huskies to have Spencer Hawes 100% healthy? I mean, you think he makes a little difference?
No question.
I mean, are you kidding me? A little finger roll. How about this little roll? Let's take it on a baseline and then just protect it and finger roll it in.
And got around a pretty darn good player to do it. We'll be back. Welcome back. It's a 43-36 Huskies lead. They've kept the Bears off the board in the first 4 minutes and 17 seconds of the second half. Let's recognize right now our U.S. Bank Pac-10 Player of the Week. He is Davin Harmeling of Washington State. And I'll tell you, you can point the finger at any one of a number of guys from Washington State because they're just so team-oriented. But Harmeling has come up big in big games. He did so again last week. 14 points a game. He gets a couple rebounds every game. Against the two Arizonas. That's pretty impressive. Now tonight, he's got 3 points. Doesn't matter though because Weaver's got 12 points.
Now
that's the thing about that team.
Yeah, and you're going to update the score there. It's 48-36. Now 12-point lead. You say, well, gee, maybe they can come back. A 12-point lead in that game is probably like 20.
Yeah.
Well, Harmeling got Player of the Week. Second time, Barry, he's gotten it this year. Remember, early in the year, he went off against the Arizonas, and there hasn't been a Washington State player to get Pac-10 Player of the Week twice in 1 year since, remember, Dominic Ellison and Mark Hendrickson. Now, that's going back. That's going back a few years.
I think Mark Hendrickson's still pitching in the major leagues, isn't he?
He may be.
And the Bears still have not scored in the second half, and they're going to have to find some way, and it's not going to happen this time, to stop the Washington Huskies as Brockman draws a foul on Ryan Anderson. And we'll take a timeout. 15:05 remaining in the ballgame. Bears have been bageled in the second half, and the Dogs lead by 7. Huskies lead it by 7. They've kept the Bears off the boards in the first 5 minutes of the second half. Well, this week, ACC Sunday Night Hoops, presented by Pizza Hut, coming back with a doubleheader. We begin with Boston College taking on the Florida State Seminoles. And then 16th ranked Duke. And it's not going to get easier for the Dukies as they have to battle the Maryland Terrapins. Coverage beginning after the college basketball tip-off show Sunday, 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific on FSN.
Yeah, Barry, Duke's just trying to get a win.
That's right.
You haven't said that very often. I mean, they're just trying to get a win, but you know, they've run into a tough stretch.
Hey, Al Skinner doing a pretty good job at BC this year too, considering they've been depleted. We're talking about California, same thing with BC. Duke has lost 3 games in a row. Lost last night to Carolina, and now they got to go play Maryland.
The Eagles of Boston College have played exceptionally. You're right, Al Skinner's done a terrific job there. No Sean Williams. Remember, he was just one of the great shot blockers around. He just said, had a disciplinary problem. He's gone. And by the way, they're still winning.
Nice pass that time from Omar Wilkes to the cutting Patrick Christopher. That's the first basket of the second half for the Cal Bears. There's Brockman. Now Nelson. Spencer Hawes working on Anderson. Missed everything that time. Brockman cleans it up.
Brockman is just, he's the glass eater of all glass eaters in this game. I mean, to my recollection, his career high in rebounds is like 14.
And he's got 14 now.
And he may have that. He has that right now.
And that's going to go off the knee of Ryan Anderson. Ryan Anderson is struggling as much in this game as I've seen him struggle in any game this year.
And I think a big part of it has been Brockman. I think Brockman has really negated Anderson's inside game. And quite frankly, he's missed a few shots, uncontested shots, that Anderson normally just does not miss. Still a long way to go. And I still think that he has to come outside against Brockman, take him away from the goal, and see if he can do some damage.
This is Appleby up top. Appleby still has not missed a shot. He's 4 of 4. Worked on by Alex Pribble. Drop it down to Brockman. Brockman has it swatted away, and Robertson says thank you very much. Again, it was Pribble who got a hand in there. Pribble's done a nice job in limited minutes. Now the Bears' chance to get back-to-back goals here. Theo Robertson, open 3, missed it. Hawes with a rebound. Outlet Appleby, 2-on-2. Nelson. Nelson cut off by Robertson's. Trap.
It looked like Nelson was trying to go with a behind-the-back pass. Did I see that correctly?
I think you might have. And that's going to get him.
And I think Lorenzo Romar may have saw it too. I think this may be a little chit-chat, like better to maybe slow it down, regroup, bring the ball back out. Let's get a position. By the way, we have a guy on the floor by the name of Brockman who normally scores when he gets it inside.
There's Alex Pribble, little pump fake, spins in against Appleby, tried to leave it for Anderson. It's going to be off the hands of Oliver and out of bounds. Well, they're going to say it's out of bounds to Washington. I sure didn't see it that way, but
looked like it was off Oliver's foot. That was the quick glance, but California will get the ball. And I think the Bears now trying to extend their defense, trying to pick up. And Washington, of course, gets the possession.
Here's Oliver. Now Anderson jumps out on Oliver. Cross-court to Pondexter. Drop it down to Artem Wallace. Wallace draws a crowd. Puts it up with the right hand. Wild shot. Robertson gets it out of there for the Bears. Bears got numbers if they push it here. Robertson drives baseline. Now gives it up for Omar Wilkes for an open 3, and he gets it. That's not start ruling the Bears out yet. They're back within 6. Still has not scored. Can be a prolific scorer.
Well, I remember earlier in the year, Barry, we had a game we had 20 and a half.
That's right.
May have been against Arizona.
Artem Wallace, little finger roll over Robertson. And the Bears are now paying the price for losing their bigs. As Robertson is playing out of position, Anderson is playing out of position, and it's costing.
Well, California, obviously, earlier in the year with Devon Harden, he had a 6'11" guy in the middle. Makes a huge difference because everybody else now has to move over a spot and playing not where they want to play. California's just doing it on determination, trying to hang in there. But quite frankly, the second half has not been a prolific scoring half for the Bears.
It's an 8-point lead for the Huskies. Ubako go to the line when we come back. It's an 8-point Washington lead over the California Golden Bears. 11:58 remaining in the ball game.
Barry, the last time down for California, they were able to get a 3-point goal. Here's Wilkes. Look at his hands are up in the air, and you're going to see the dribble and the kick. Watch Theo Robertson. He does have 4 assists. Look at Wilkes with the hands up saying, I'm open, I'm open, I'm open. And a great job by Theo Robertson to find him in the corner. Cal needs more of that if they want to get back in the game.
Omar Wilkes, and we talk about it all the time too, all the improved players in the Pac-10 conference, he would number amongst them. Taking it to the basket a lot more now, and he's really become a defensive presence as well. Of course, his brother Jordan Another one of the bigs for California who has not been able to play a minute this year. He got hurt in preseason and is out for the year.
And in my recollection, talk about the Hall of Honors. Isn't Jamal, his dad, going in this year?
I think
along with Rutz Critchfield's going in from California.
I would say it's pretty well deserved.
Jamal had kind of an unusual shot, but not one you'd ever want to change.
No.
Because the answer is
it ain't broke.
It always went in.
Yeah, that's right.
Good trap by California. See if they're going to get a timeout. Yeah, quick timeout. And that's the big difference now. In the past, coaches couldn't call timeouts. Now they see their team in trouble, and they just say TO. They get right in the official's ear in case the players don't react. How about the trap? They get it right here. They got to trap the ball right in here. Look at this. 1, 2, and here's your open guy, but here's the guy right there calling the timeout. You got Lorenzo Romar saying, hey, we're in trouble. Timeout, timeout, timeout. They finally did hit the open man, though, a little bit late.
And it is now final in Pullman, where the Cougars have moved into undisputed possession of second place in the Pac-10 Conference. 58-45 over the 25th ranked Stanford Cardinal. And yes, they're real. Here are the updated standings in the Pac-10. As we said, Washington State undisputed in second place.
And by the way, doesn't UCLA at the end of the year, they have to make the trek up to Pullman. That could be will be a meaningful game late in the season.
I'll say it will be. And they have to go down and play the Oregon schools as well, so it's not going to all be easy. There's a nice little drop by Pondexter.
Great timeout by Lorenzo Romar. That didn't happen by accident, a little over the topper.
There's Hawes with a rebound off the three-point miss by Theo Robertson. Oliver for three. That won't go. But Denman gets it back off the hands of Ibaka. Pondexter wants the ball. Denman's going to take the shot. And now we're going to get Artem Wallace on a push, knocking Ibaka to the deck.
It's a wonderful timeout that Lorenzo Romar called, because coming out of this timeout, this is a planned play. They go right over the top, and Oliver with a great read, a little back screen, and they find Pondexter right at the top there, who just funnels it in.
So again, the Bears in a situation where they have to answer. Vernon still back in the ball game for California now. Ryan Anderson has been a non-factor in this game.
9 minutes we played in the second half. The Bears only have 6 points.
That's right.
So, on that pace, it's going to be tough to come back.
And that missed everything. So Ibaka throws up an air ball, which of course gets the crowd involved. They will remind Allende about that.
Well, I think Allende and the Bears sense there's urgency now. We're down 9. We haven't been playing very well. The senior Ibaka wants to try to take control of the game. California back in the zone.
You can see the three-point shooting. Bears 6 of 20. Good job by Ibaka that time. Got a hand on the ball. Ibaka going to go end to end with the left hand. No, follow Anderson.
Golden rule, Barry, when you're running the floor on a breakaway and you don't have the ball, never anticipate your teammate will make it. You anticipate he's going to miss it. Great job by Anderson to get down and tip it in.
Pondexter dropped it down for Hawes, and he missed the shot. Might have been because Anderson was pulling on his jersey. I'm not sure.
Ryan Anderson, who I think needs to get on track. We talked about it, but look at the young guy run the floor, and he just trails the play. And he's got, of course, once he taps it and he gets his hands on it there, he makes an easy finish. It's not a simple play, but he made it look that way with his nice little follow. Look at Hawes on the lob. It's good out of bounds. Just throw it to Hawes and let him try. I like that out of bounds play.
Jump hook, the left hand. Randall going to back it out for the Bears. Back to a 9-point ball game. Nothing coming easy for California here in the second half. There's Vernisol driving on Wallace, throws a brick. Anderson follows it in again.
Well, you notice with Brockman out of the game, Brockman does a great job of screening out and putting the body on Anderson. He's been able to get freed up and got a few cheapies inside.
There's Hawes again. That time he comes up short. There's Artem Wallace to clean it up. And he'll go to the free throw line. Here's that out-of-bounds play you spoke of just a moment ago, Danny.
Well, they just lob it to him, and here on the out-of-bounds, of course, it helps if you got a 7-footer with great hands who can shoot either way, and has got a jump hook right hand and left hand, and has his kind of ability. But talk about simple out-of-bounds plays. Just look for him and let him go ahead and create.
Tim Wallace throws up not a very pretty free throw. Artem not been at the free throw line all that much. Just a 33% free throw shooter, and he gets 1 out of 2. And now Brockman's going to come back, and Wallace will leave. Neither team shooting very well from the free throw line. Bears have only been there 4 times. You talked about how important it was for them to get there. They've only made 2.
Yeah, well, I thought a big key for California was to get to the line and shoot multiple times. Not just shoot 7 or 8 free throws. They need to shoot 20 or more because they're leading the nation in free throw shooting, but it's tough when you don't have an inside game.
The Huskies 5 of 10, so they're not shooting any better than the Bears, but they've been there more than the Bears. As Randall gets into the lane, leaves for Vernisel. Vernisel, little jumper, score.
Good to see Vernisel healthy again because he had been coming on for California, rolled his ankle, and got in a position where he just couldn't play for a couple of games, but he's doing a nice job in this one.
Appleby driving on Ibaka, now Demp. Tough shot, he got it to go. Randall, little reverse. It's on the baseline, so Randall couldn't quite hold on to the basketball. Been a tough night for Randall. Picked up some early fouls, not been any kind of a factor.
This will be a good time for the Huskies to get Brockman back involved again. Being guarded by Vernisel, he's right there if they can bring it to him.
Well, they got it to him there. And then he had it swatted away by Randall. Here's Randall, got a good look. Instead, he steps in, puts it up off the window, and scores.
Well, you talked about Tawan Porter at Oregon. This is a young guy right here, Jerome Randall. I mean, he's got, flashes of brilliance also. He can break you down and go to the goal. And the adjustment California's making in the second half on Brockman, they're doubling him every time he gets the ball. When he gets the ball, they're going to drop someone down and force him to see they're going to double him there.
Yep, they did. And he couldn't get the shot to go. And now the Bears with an opportunity to cut this to 4 or less. Give it up for the Bears. They have hung in there, even though they were kind of dead in the water. Randall just going to pull the trigger right now and miss. And Appleby with a rebound. I'm sure a lot quicker than Ben Braun and the staff would have wanted. There's Pondexter against Christopher. Now Hawes and 1.
Well, Pondexter has made a couple of great reads in the second half. You see the difference between Washington and California. The Huskies are looking deep first, and if they can take it on the block, they're going inside to out or get score around the goal. California's relying on their perimeter game. Look at this pass. No looker that Hawes. Is he unbelievable inside?
But you got to give it up for Pondexter, too. 6 assists. Washington by 8. They'll go to the free throw line to try to make it a 9-point lead over the Bears with 7:05 remaining. And we want to remind you that you have a chance to win tickets to this year's State Farm Pac-10 Women's Tournament in San Jose on March 2nd to the 5th, or the Pacific Life Pac-10 Men's Tournament in Los Angeles on March 7th to the 10th. All you have to do is log on to www.pac10.org for your chance to win. Spencer Hawes will go to the free throw line, try to make this an old-fashioned three-point play. Hawes with 12 points. And there, of course, is the Hawes family, dad and uncle, both of whom played here at University of Washington.
That's Steve and Jeff Hawes. Yeah, they did. Of course, Steve, both went on to play in the NBA. Of course, Steve, a little more well-known, but Jeff was a heck of a player in his own right, too. So Jeff is dad and Steve is uncle. There you see Steve clapping the hands, and Jeff also in the green there, very excited. And of course, on hand at every game. In fact, I believe I saw Pondexter, Roscoe Pondexter here earlier also at this game.
Nice movement without the ball and a very good finish and a nice dish from Verderson. The Bears are not going away. Even though it's been something of a highlight film for the Huskies, California's still within 7. There's Pondexter. Pondexter travel.
Of course, Quincy's dad, Roscoe, part of that great Lute Olson Long Beach State team that we talk about all the time with his uncle Clifton. Remember Bobby Gross?
Sure do.
Leonard Gray.
And Glenn McDonald.
That was
his son went on to play at Stanford.
And there's Quincy, who's an outstanding talent. San Joaquin Memorial, same high school that his dad attended and his uncle. I mean, there's a little history there.
Meantime, California's down 7 with the ball. And the Bears, who have been absolutely dead in the water, are still very much within striking range. The clock is not any kind of a factor at all.
And I think Ben Braun just sensed exactly what you're saying. He's saying, look, we're down 7. We're actually in a pretty good position right now, considering we came out in the first 9 minutes of the second half and scored 6 points. So instead of a quick shot like we did the last time, let's take a TO. Let's talk about it. We need a possession that is productive. And I'm sure it's going to be a Ryan Anderson if they go inside, try to find him and get something good for California.
Yeah, Ryan Anderson has not had the best of it. He's 4 of 10 from the field. He's got 9 points, and he does have 5 rebounds. So if you just look at his line, you would say, you know, he's doing what he has been doing all along. Arizona, 6-point lead over Oregon State. So even Oregon State, we talk about California being in range, Oregon State playing at home. They also are not out of the fray. Keep you posted on that one, too, with 7.5 minutes to play in that game. Washington State has already beaten Stanford. Oregon has already come up a winner over ASU.
Yeah, Jay John, one of the real good guys in college basketball, and he's really had an up and down year, mostly down, quite frankly. And you wouldn't expect him to be within range of a really talented Arizona team, but obviously in Corvallis, a very close game, 6-point game with about 7 minutes to go.
They're going to foul this time. They're going to get Artem Wallace. I think Robertson might have dodged a bullet right there. Will not be a shooting situation yet.
Ben Braun calling out of bounds play himself. He's trying to get something good coming out of this out of bounds.
Baca, a floater, and he knocks it in.
Big possession there for the Bears.
No, it sure was. Makes it a 5-point ball game. Now here come the Dogs. Burmeister made an important 3 near the end of the first half. Back into the lineup for the Huskies. Brockman also on the floor. Ryan Appleby's not taking a shot here in the second half. Reaching foul on Omar Wilkes.
Still a non-shooting situation, but both California and Washington 5-team fouls. So the ball will go out of bounds. Now you got to be alert if you're California. Now Hawes isn't in the game. The last out of bounds was a lob, but they do have Brockman there. So you got to watch 40 unless Appleby's wide open.
Yeah, it was a pick, and Appleby with his first miss. And now Baca, the rebound for California, and it goes to Wilkes. Wilkes giving up for Anderson, straightens up, knocks in a 3, huge shot.
Yeah, look out. You talk about Ryan Anderson, you talk about the fact, well, he hasn't been himself. By the time the game's over, he's probably going to have 17, 18 points and 11 rebounds, so he makes a huge goal there.
Yeah, none bigger than that one. The Bears on a 7-0 run. It's back to a 2-point ball game.
Well, here's the last score. Here's your guy right here. And look at the trailer. They're going to give it to him, and he's going to go ahead and drop it in. Now, Anderson can make that shot. I mean, he's a guy you have to address him when you're playing defense. You cannot allow him just to gather because he's got a great shooting touch. And I think that's a big goal for Ryan because now his confidence builds. And the unbelievable thing, the Huskies had the hammer in this game. They were up 9 with the ball, could not convert. California just comes right back on them, and we've got a 2-point game.
Yeah, you really have to hand it to Ben Braun's Bears. They are underhanded. They're playing in a place where the home team has won 13 out of 14. They got their only senior and real team leader is sick. and yet somehow they're getting it done.
You mention this all the time, but I remember Ben Holland telling us, Barry, that in terms of starters in the Pac-10 Conference, it's an unbelievable number. There's only 8 starting seniors in the league. So you talk about a young league and a team with great upside.
And that is going to be a jump ball call. Robertson got all ball on Brockman's drive to the basket. And the possession arrow will be the Huskies.
Okay, remember the last time it was to this guy right there. That was the play. See if they go to him again. Now, they didn't do it that time.
So Denton going to bring it back up top. Now Appleby. Ibaka jumps out on him. Brockman down low and a foul.
Well, you could see where the focus is. And again, a great pass to the outside hand. California a little late coming over for help. And Brockman with a power move to the basket. But certainly that is the strategy for the Huskies. They're going to try to find Hawes and Brockman and force California to defend the interior.
Brockman converts the first free throw. Brockman now 14 points and 14 rebounds. He gets them both. That's back to a 4-point game. There's Ibaka driving on Detman. Spins in the lane, puts it up over Detman, counted and one. Great job to use the body by Ayinde Ibaka.
Yeah, wonderful individual move by Ayinde Ibaka. And that time, I think he just felt he had a size advantage on Denton, and they spread the floor to the Bears and let him go one-on-one on the interior. And you're right, it was contact. He knew the foul was called, but did a beautiful job to go ahead and finish the play.
So Ibaka will try to make this a one-point game. Ayinde was a football player. He's not afraid of a little contact. Couldn't get it to go, however. Bears just 2 of 5 at the line.
And we thought that was a big key. Get the Bears to the line. They lead the nation in free throw shooting 40% in this game.
Now Brockman trying to back Robertson down, takes it all away. That's a mismatch.
Was that kind of a get out of my way, I'm taking this in and score kind of a play?
That's exactly what that was.
Yeah, just kind of a semi-clear out.
Now Robertson going all the way to the basket and offensive foul. Ben Bryant was not believing. A great job by Burmeister to step in front.
Yeah, Burmeister comes over for the help, and the question is, had the ball left his hands? No, he made the contact first, then the ball left the hands, so no basket. And out of bounds, it will go to the Huskies.
Third foul on Theo Robertson. That was a big one. Bears show a little pressure here. Now they get the ball, the Huskies do, into the hands of the guy they want to bring it across the timeline. That is Denton. Driving. Anderson jumps out at him. Now Hawes. They drop it down to Brockman again. And Brockman count the basket and give the foul to Christopher. He is just a load.
Yeah, he's a load, and really you got to give the Huskies all the credit by getting the ball inside. And here's Spencer Hawes. Again, a beautiful pass, high to low. And California a little bit late. You know it's a tough cover for Theo Robertson. He's trying to get around the top. Christopher just late getting there. And it doesn't matter if you hit Brockman, if you move him, if you bump him. He's going to score it anyway. He's that strong.
He will go to the line. Brockman now with 19 points, 14 rebounds. And somehow that one went in. And it's back to a 7-point game. Brockman has scored the last 7 for the Huskies. Omar Wilkes short with a 3-point shot. Now Detman for Washington. Brockman had beaten everybody back. Instead it's Hawes. Raise tackle, intentional foul, good call, 2 shots and possession.
Yeah, a little surprised that Vernisol did that. I thought he tried to establish position, but when you go with a wraparound and you grab the guy, it's an easy call for the official.
Well, right now the Huskies doing everything right. Vernisol a full takedown on Hawes. 2 shots, they'll have possession when we come back. Well, the Huskies lead it now by 7, a chance to make it 8 with 3:52 remaining, and it has been the John Brockman Show.
Well, it sure has, Barry, and we talk about John Brockman. This is our red lobster, nothing but net shot of the game, and what a play by Brockman. I mean, he was bumped, he was hit, he was moved, he was grabbed, and it didn't make any matter at all because he just did a great job to finish it in.
So that is our red lobster, nothing but net shot of the game, and you know, it's interesting. I ran into Ty Willingham, was in the crowd here earlier, and was talking to him about Brockman. He said, I'd sure like to have him. He's just as tough as any guy he's got in a football team, I'll tell you that.
Well, you bet. I mean, I think he'd make a pretty good defensive whatever.
Tight end? Even a tight end?
Even a tight end, sure.
15 points in the second half, incidentally. So now Hawes at the line for 2. He misses the first. Huskies will retain possession no matter what.
Yeah, this is the intentional foul, so it's going to be 2 on the ball. Hawes will get another free throw, and then the Huskies will get the ball back out at midcourt.
1 out of 2.
Or underneath. And remember, their favorite out of bounds underneath is the lob to Hawes.
We talked about California having to get to the free throw line more. They have only gotten there 5 times, and they haven't made but 2 of them. Big possession right here because
I don't know, Barry, if you're Washington, why you wouldn't just go right back into Hawes or Brockman, let them have the ball. Vernisol trying to front, doing a good job.
Denton will bring it back up top. They use a little bit of clock here. 10 on the shot clock. 3:25 remaining in the ball game. And Denton goes all the way. Vernisol blocks it, but he got Denton with the body. And they put Denton at the free throw line.
Now, Denton got the mismatch he wanted. They were either going to look for Brockman or penetration by Denton. He did a good job to take it in. Vernisol didn't like the call. There was, in my opinion, a little bit of contact, and Denton will get to the line for a couple of free throws. And it seems like the Huskies have been at this end of the court for a long time.
I think they have been. Theo Robertson going to come back. Patrick Christopher going to leave for the Bears. Denton now, opportunity to give his team a double-digit lead. Neither team has had a double-digit lead in this game. And he does.
Well, the Huskies 13-1 at home this year.
8 unanswered points in the last minute and 13 seconds now for the Washington Huskies. Here's another turnover.
And now you can back it out if you're Washington. No reason to go fast here. You can get very, very selective when you dictate the tempo. Nothing outside.
Now 18, 17, 16 on the shot clock. And that was a no call, but I'll tell you what, there was an elbow there. This is the biggest lead now of the night for the Washington Huskies. There was a flop there, but there was also a pretty good elbow.
Yeah, there was a little bit. You could see that called. I mean, we've seen that before. Now California really in desperate straits. They need to get the ball up and in frequently and call a timeout and get active and get after the Huskies and see if they can turn them over. California's not out of the game yet. I mean, they're not in great position, but there's still time.
And you're right about Ryan Anderson. He's got 15 in the game now. Was there an elbow here? Let's see.
Well, I think there was a little bit of contact. There was a little left elbow. We've seen that call.
We have, but upon further review, I think the officials made the right call.
Well, I can tell you this. I think late in the game, I think it's a good no call. I think you let them play.
Yeah, I
think you let the guys go. If it's an obvious foul, you call it, but you don't have to call every bump. Ooh.
Arizona now a 4-point game against Oregon State. Plenty of time left down in Corvallis.
And I'll tell you, a critical game for Arizona.
Oh, yes.
I mean, they need to kind of get their end of the season going in the right direction. Obviously, 24th ranked. It's a team that's won 20 or more games a number of years. They've gone to the tournament every year for, 20-plus years. So they're not in jeopardy of not going to the NCAA tournament, but they still need to finish with some wins late in the year.
Marcus Williams had a wake-up call in that game. He's got 25. Sasha Chuich has 25 for Oregon State. And it's not over yet. We'll keep you posted.
Get away, dog!
This is Denton now. They'll try to utilize some clock.
And nothing outside, Barry. I still think if you're the Huskies, it's got to be Hawes or Brockman, go high-low, unless you get locked up on a screen and you get a wide-open shot. Now, that is not the one you want.
Burmeister could not get it to go. Robertson, but they used a lot of the shot clock. Here's Robertson for California. He's going to go end-to-end. And he missed the shot. Anderson follows. That's no good. Robertson gets it back. He tries to wedge it up. It's no good. And finally, Burmeister gets it out of there for the Huskies. 3 chances for the Bears, and they come up empty.
Golden opportunity for California right there to get back in the game. Now, you can ill afford now to let the Huskies just run the shot clock. You got to get up on them if you're California. Take some chances. Only a minute and 22. Got to go for the ball.
Burmeister going to come out and guard Burmeister. Got a hand on the ball. Anderson goes for it. Hawes gets it away from him. Now Burmeister again. 5 on the shot clock. Burmeister pulls the trigger once more. Not getting it to go, but again, they use most of the shot clock. Now the Bears, with the clock being the ally of the Huskies. Ibaka knocks down a 3. Going to get a quick timeout. Ben Braun does.
They're still not out of this game.
No, they're not. 2-possession game right now.
I mean, you might think it's over, but I guarantee you Lorenzo Romar does it, and neither does Ben Braun. Well, this is a huge hoop. Now, don't forget, California just missed a couple of chances on the last possession for an easy score, and there Ibaka comes up with a huge 3, and now you're talking about a 2-possession game, a minute to go. If you sit in that California huddle, you got to be thinking, guys, we got to go steal. We got to be thinking steal. Let's get aggressive. Let's overplay. Let's get an opportunity to get up there and try to make a defensive stop.
Washington at the free throw line, 12 of 18 in the ball game. And the Bears have just not gotten to the free throw line, just 2 of 5.
And you see a double bonus, so that the Huskies in great shape if they can take care of the ball. And the one thing Lorenzo Romar is doing right now, I guarantee it, he's saying, guys, we got to be solid on this out-of-bounds play. We cannot make a critical error. Let's get it in. Let's get our spacing correct, because you know they're going to try to challenge and steal, and then they're going to foul us. So we don't want to make a mistake in this particular situation.
So it's a 6-point ball game, 71-65. The Huskies over the Bears. Huskies will have the basketball. Bears likely will go for a steal. If that doesn't work, they will foul. Brockman has come up big tonight, 20 points to go with 14 rebounds. Appleby, interestingly enough, 10 points in the first half, has not scored in the second half. Spencer Hawes, 16 points off the bench for California. Andy Ibaka playing hurt, but he's got 16, including the last one, which got his team within 6 here. Ryan Anderson, a tough and hard-earned 15, and Robertson, 11. Burmeister to inbounds. They won't guard the inbounds pass. And Burmeister gets it into Hawes. Now back to Dentman. They'll go chase Dentman.
Yeah, you don't want to. Dentman is really the guy. If you had your druthers in your California, you'd rather have someone else shoot, but besides Dentman.
81% at the free throw line.
But you remember, Barry, in the game at Berkeley, Dentman had a chance to win it at the end of regulation and had a 2-shot opportunity, and California moved its entire rooting section and band underneath the basket to bother him, and he made only 1 of 2. It went into overtime, and California won that game in overtime.
Dentman gets the first one here. Ben Braun knows that he's short-decked. It's just that simple. Doing everything he can. His players are playing their hearts out. Dentman gets them both. Now inside a minute.
A little sense of urgency now, obviously, for California, and they're going to be thinking 3 coming down.
Ibaka going to put it up with the left hand. He will get it to go.
Of course, the clock will stop in the last minute when you score.
This is the guy you don't want to foul, but you got no choice. So to put Dentman back at the free throw line for 2 with 43.8 seconds remaining.
And I would think if you're California, Barry, the next time down, you got to be thinking 3. I mean, it's not 100% necessary, but the fact is, if you can knock down a 3, and in my recollection, I don't think Ben Braun has timeouts left. California just has to stay active and get up on it and hope you can foul somebody besides Dentman, because now he's on a roll.
So Dentman hit that one purely, and they'll have another. And he gets them both. And it's back to an 8-point game. And now, of course, the clock really the ally of the Washington Huskies. Bears have to do something quickly here.
Well, they're thinking 3, but the Huskies doing a good job of defending the perimeter.
They made Ibaka step out, take a long 3, and this should pretty much do it here. Ryan Appleby has called a jump ball, and the possession arrow is California's.
Not quite yet.
No. So 27.2 seconds left. Bears will have to go quick here. Here's Ibaka. Ibaka leaves it for Ryan Anderson to the basket.
Remember, the clock stops. Might as well take a chance to foul Appleby, and now they can't catch it. You would like to foul him.
And Robertson fouls him, and that's going to be his 5th. Not exactly the way the Bears would have liked to have had it drawn up. So Robertson will foul out. Patrick Christopher will replace him. Ryan Appleby will go to the free throw line.
He's a guy that really doesn't get to the foul line very, very often. I mean, you look at the number of throws he's had this year, and Appleby is, he's only been to the line 17 times, but he's made 16.
Now he's made 17.
So, that kind of computes to about 94%.
Well, the Huskies at the free throw line started just 5 of 10, but now they've made 13 of their last 14. And that pretty much has sealed the deal. And Ibaka tries to finger roll it and draws the foul. He would have liked to have had the shot to go with it. With 9 seconds left, he'll get a chance to cut it to 6, but this would be a very tall order.
Well, the good news for Washington is they've got the schedule in their favor. They're a very good home team, and in terms of the conference, they had 5 of their last 7 at home, and they've got a non-conference game at Pittsburgh. So if you're thinking you're a Washington fan, they were 4-7 in the league coming in. They get this win, they go to 5-7. They've got that'll be a tough game for them. They've got Stanford Sunday, but Washington not totally out of it because they play so well in this building. The majority of their games are back here.
And with this win, a big finish by Brockman, and that seems fitting and proper to me.
He really had an unbelievable game. I mean, Brockman dominated the game early in terms of his inside play, just a Herculean effort on the glass, and Brockman just very good at both ends of the floor. So very hard-earned victory for Lorenzo Roma. Vince Vaughn team gave it everything they had. They just came up short.
Yeah, and that's been the story for them. And for the Washington Huskies, they've now won 4 of their last 5 games, and as you said, Dan, they're kind of, if not back in the fray, they're at least on the fringes of it.
Barry, they're lurking, and they're a team that you have to give them all the respect. They're very talented. By the way, Hawes now getting healthier. They're going to be tough coming down the stretch.
Well, that's a wrap for us from Seattle. Once more, the final score, the Washington Huskies 79, the California Golden Bears 71. We remind you to join us Sunday night. We'll be right back here at the Bank of America Arena. It'll be the Stanford Cardinal coming to town to take on these same Washington Huskies. Stay tuned now for the FSN final score in most regions. For our part, though, that is a wrap. For my partner, Dan Belwamity, I'm Barry Tompkins saying so long from Seattle. Thanks for watching Pac-10 Hoops on FSN.